of the notable sounds of flight can be heard in the early dawn hours in October during the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. The distinct sound of the burner systems being heard as pilots heat the air inside the envelopes can be heard across the field. In a video production, distinct audio is more than just hot air. In this section of the course, we'll introduce you to the most common techniques to get the best sound from your audio in a video production. Audio can either be recorded or imported into Camtasia. To set up appropriate audio levels for live screen recording, adjust the volume so the audio is recorded in the higher end of the green levels. If the audio peaks in the orange or red areas, the audio could be distorted when played back. For practice exercise, import the audio files to work with along with the script image for reference. Now that we have our materials in the clip bin, let's bring the visual reference to the script down into the timeline. I'll leave that on layer 2 and I'll extend the duration. And then for the audio, we have two pieces of audio. Actually, I'm going to move the slide up to level 3 since we'll work with the music and announce. We'll bring the audio script down to layer 2, and I can see the spikes for the different points of copy for the introduction and then the different elements. And then I've got the music. We'll bring that down into the bottom track. That's a little bit longer piece. And our goal with the music is to start it out at the beginning and then fade it out, and then we'll trim it, and then we'll back time it so it finishes out. So let's take care of the audio, the music first. It's going to take the split tool, and now I'm going to move along the timeline, and we'll click the split tool to divide the music. And remember, Camtasia is using non-destructive editing. We've got the original material, so we can always refer back to it and start again. I'm going to zoom out so I can see the full length, and I can see on the very end, this is what I want to have accomplished at the end. This is the sting out. Take a listen to that, just that last portion. All right, so I want to catch it's pretty well fading out at that point, and then I'm just going to scroll along the front here. So now I have the opening. I'm going to slide the music out here. Let me just see how it comes in on the front end, and we can adjust if needed.
Pond5.com.
All right, so it's clean on the front end, and that's probably about as much duration as we need, and then I can see the audio levels we'll get into in just a moment. But I'm going to place that all the way at the front. I've got the ending that I'll work with here in a moment. And then what we're trying to coordinate is the sequence between the music fading down and the announce coming in. So we start out with the music full, then we fade the music down during the audio, then we hear just the announce without any music behind it, and then the music fades back up and then stings out. I'm going to bring this in a little bit here. So we can tell we don't need very much on the back end, but we will want to figure out a particular transition as we get into that transition mode. All right, so now I have a visual picture of the sequence. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. And if you need to take a look at any of the tracks in a little more detail, you can raise them up or lower them down depending on the amount of detail. So for instance, we're not really tracking anything visually in the track for the slide, but we have it up here in our screen so we can see our diagram. And now we're going to concentrate on the audio levels. So we'll take advantage of expanding those up just a little bit more. So inside Camtasia in the audio settings, we have a couple of options. One thing to be aware of when you've got multiple tracks selected is you may inadvertently make an adjustment and have it applied to multiple tracks. So I'm going to lock track 2. That way I'm not going to affect the audio and the sequence. I'm going to make some adjustments to the audio on the music, and I can hear both of them even though it's locked. Audio script, hear music full. All right, so I can tell I need to be fading down the music. One thing I can do in the audio options is to just do a fade out. I've got the bottom clip selected, so let me click fade out. So here I have a natural fade. Audio script, hear music full. All right, so timing's a little bit off because I'm indicating I want to hear the music full, and then the audio is fading out during this sequence. So I'm just going to extend audio down a little bit. And notice that I have some handles here. These handles, if I drag them, it will control the envelope or the path of the audio. So we want to hear the audio full up through there, and then it will fade out. So I've shown just a quick reference to getting a fade out, but let me work on the fade up as a way to work in a more precise way. So I'm going to scroll along the timeline here where the audio is going to start to fade in. I'm going to figure that it's going to be full at about this point. I'm going to click on that location. I'm going to scroll down in my options, and I'm going to select this clip, and I have an option to add an audio point. I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to add another audio point. Bring that down just a little bit. So we're going to have the music start to fade up, and then I'll go all the way to the beginning. And I could have selected fade in to create these audio points, but in this case I wanted to be a little bit more precise. So I may want to have it ramp just a little bit, and I can drag those control points. So I'm going to have it gradually fade up, and then it's going to accelerate up here very quickly, just to make that last milestone. We hear the music on the very end. So now we have everything in place, and I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to unlock the announce track. I'm going to click on it, and in the audio options, the very top, there's an option for enable volume leveling, which flattens out the higher levels and it boosts the bottom levels, so you've got a fairly consistent audio level. And then enable noise removal will help to reduce some of the background noise or the hum. And then notice that the volume is below 100%. So now that we've leveled everything, I've got this selected. I want to go to the options for volume up. And I want the volume to be just below the dotted line, just below the 100% line. If we go above that, we'll start to get some distortion. But if we stop just below there, for most of the peaks, getting just to the top or just below, I found that to be a really good setting for a very rich tone. So now that we've got our content, let's play back to the front and hear what this sounds like.
Pond5.com.
Audio script, hear music full, crossfade music out, hear voice, crossfade music in, sting out. So there you have an audio mix that includes a cutting of audio in different segments so we can back time the conclusion for the music. We have the ability to fade music in and out at any point. We also focused on the ways to maximize the quality of the audio and the volume of the audio for the announce in a consistent way throughout the presentation.